I grew up in Ramsgate and Broadstairs in the 80s and 90s. They were relatively safe seaside towns right next to each other in Thanet. Pretty, quiet, and at the end of the line. Margate was, and still is, their more famous, naughtier sister. Ramsgate had a big harbour and used to be a bit rougher than Broadstairs, but it did boast of a Tammy Girl, a Peacocks, and a New Look. So, fashion-wise, it was not fucking about. Broadstairs was a bit more middle class, an old-fashioned sweet shop, a haberdashery, and 3 off licences. Guess which one I used the most? These 3 small neighbouring towns are a little frayed around the edges, but they've got a laid-back, blue-skied charm. I love the faded glamour of an old seaside town, the pastel colours of an ice cream parlour, the peeling paint in an old theatre, a ceremonial bandstand, some territorial seagulls, and a holiday spirit hanging in the air. I loved Thanet with its cabbage patches and its cornfields, but I yearned for more. I used to wear blue glittery trousers with massive orange platform boots and then say things like, "What are they looking at? Geez, this town is so small-minded." And once you've been that much of a bellend, you really do need to leave. My theory is people are less ambitious by the sea. They walk slower, they talk slower, they drink more. Life is less of a race and more of a picnic. That could be a compliment or an insult, depending on how you view capitalism. In some ways, it was a relatively simple time, but human beings always find a way to make things complicated. When I was little, I'd ask my brother how to play, as if there were rules and I could get it wrong. I'd just be looking at these plastic figures thinking, what now? I don't know. Make them walk, make them talk to each other, but what about? I did feel like I got a lot of stuff wrong, that I was somehow wrong. I imagine a lot of people feel like that. I remember once when I was about 10, I was using the house phone and my mum said, "Why are you dialing on the phone like that? Try to add some style to it. Your dad had style. He did things with a bit of flair." I'm sure she was trying to help, but her frustration let me know that even my mum thought I was a bit of a loser. For clarification, I was just using the phone in a standard way. I wasn't like headbutting it or anything. Now, before we go any further, there's a lot of stuff that I won't be saying about my family because most of them are still alive, thank God. But if any of them do drop dead before the paperback comes out, I will whack it in then, okay? None of my family want me to talk about them in the book, but for some reason I feel compelled to. Sorry, everyone, but I will try and be fair, and I am leaving out anything which means I'll get disinherited. So yeah, I guess I am a good person. To be honest, I don't think there's a lot to inherit, so that's another reason why I had to write this book. Plus, the person who comes out the worst in these stories is me. I'm bowing right now. I'm grateful for my parents. They did their utmost with what they had at the time. And I'm grateful for every single thing that life has given and taken because it's allowed me to grow. Without feeling invisible, I wouldn't have done comedy. You're welcome. Without feeling lost, I wouldn't have found spiritual answers. And without pissing myself in a Ryman's, I wouldn't have given up alcohol. So the Lord works in mysterious ways and stationers. I would tell you how much I love my older brother and how much I looked up to him and how funny and kind he was, but he has assured me that if I mention him personally, he will suit up and take me to court, okay? So after this page, I'm barely going to mention him. Basically, you have to lose him so I don't have to. So just one last word on him because he really did help to inform my personality, and that is the sentence that he is going to hate the most. When we were little and living in Ramsgate, life was fun. It was after my dad had been sent packing when I was 2 and before my stepdad was on the scene when I was 4. It was just our little trio, my brother, my mum and I, a well-balanced triangle. Sometimes my mum would take us potato picking for money. We loved running around a big field. The house was full of mums and kids and we had friends at the end of the garden, and every day after school we'd get a 10p mix-up, no bubblegum. We weren't allowed bubblegum, of course. Once, my brother and I decided our duvets looked like snail shells, so we wrapped them around us, snuck out of the house and started crawling up the pavement with our homes on our back, making snail noises. You know the noise a snail makes. No, neither did we. But when you're crawling up the road with a duvet on your back, it is important to commit to the role.